I just ran out of a song. Just emptied. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, and welcome to Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. I always like that word, live. Today we're painting up some Devaronian. Super cool sculpt, super fun, part of the Cad Bane squad. And I realized we've never painted anything with red skin before. Just never done it.
Really haven't?
Really haven't.
Well, it's their lucky day.
So I think it's a good time to just do it because we have a dope Devaronian here. Let's kick it to the mini cam. Let's get painting. Look at this guy. He is having the time of his life, just doing super fun, criminally things. Maul, kind of. I mean, I think that's a stretch, Maul. Because those are just like little lines. This is like, we're going to do full on red flesh. He does look happy. I think I'm going to mix a little orange and a little brick red. This will be my underlayer for my Devaronian. This guy's about to get paid for all of his criminal adventures. It's payday for him. And the reason I'm doing orange is because I'm going to start layering red over top, and I want that orange to be underneath and maybe provide a little sub highlight. No, I didn't even look up to see that question. I already answered it. So as I blend up, I'll leave some of that orange showing. It's going to create like that first layer. Also, because it's orange and the red goes over top, you're going to see that shining through. So it's going to make a more intense red, which is nice. Look at him. This guy has been called out on a sweet bounty.
So is that a recommendation you have for all like non-natural skin colors to underpaint like that?
I wouldn't say all of them because we've done a lot of skin tones, and we approach them different ways. You don't have to approach it this way. You can do traditional heavy layer red and then highlight with orange. Just the way I'm painting, this will work really well for the way I'm going to paint today. Gotcha. We're going to use a lot of our colors that we've talked about in painting flesh tones, once again on this feller. Down to our sanguine, and then we'll do a little blue. A lot of same colors. Actually, the brick red that I'm using is the brick red I used to mix in to make Caucasian skin tones when we first do our first shadows. If you watched any of those videos, same brick red. This just gives me a foundation, something to work from. You could start with shadow and build up. You can start with pure highlight and build down. The world is your oyster when it comes to painting miniatures. There's no wrong way to do it. Sometimes for blue skin tone, I like to start with the highest highlight and then work my way down. Just because blue is such a punchy, bully color. While it's drying, let's sketch in some cloth. A little light blue on this shirt. There's a lot of character. Face has a lot. Yeah, this fella has a lot of character. Really fun miniature that we got to add. Oh, something's on my brush. then when we were choosing what goes in the Cad Bane, like it was kind of fun because it was like it's like let's do our scene, right, and then need some sort of generic bounty hunters, and we got to do the Devaronian, and then it was like, well, what should go with the Devaronian, and landed on the Chandra fan because I think that just you can almost see the story, right? The Devaronian, he's like all gung ho action, kicking in the door, almost the muscle of the group. And then the little Chandra fan is like stealing a little bag. He's got the loot, the booty. He's a little more sneaky. I mean, he's got a blaster. He'll use it, but he's not as upfront about the situation. Best support character sculpt so far. Try to always put some character into everything, right? Sometimes that doesn't mean they're all action-y, crazy. Just trying to capture personality or the archetype. A little blue on the pants and the shirt. And we'll turn those black here in a little bit. I used two different light blues. One's more of a gray, mid-color. We'll use a black wash to tie those together. We'll probably throw a little highlight on that shirt. Some a little sketchy. Turn that down just a touch. Highlight the pants. Like I said, this will get a black wash. To turn those both black, but the two different colors will make them feel like two different materials. Are they a single support slot? Yeah, they are in conjunctions. All right, let's start building our red on our skin. Mix up a little bit of this acrylic medium to go with our red. I'm just going to use it. This just helps increase translucency. We're going to start shading. All those little crinkles and wrinkles. Right up against the nose, under the cheekbones. Right in those eye sockets. Not the top of the chin, but right under that bottom lip. Oh yeah, Gen Con's coming up this week. Everybody needs to be watching for news, information, and announcements coming out from Gen Con. Probably on our socials.
Yeah, the big thing is to make sure you're here in chat tomorrow at 9 a.m. PT for a cool, fun time.
Yep, and beat me to it.
Sorry.
I talk too slow when I'm painting. All the socials, right? So Instagram and Twitter, but also the Twitch tomorrow. What could it be? What will they talk about? The speculation is rife.
Palpable.
Like how red he is. Notice that first coat. The way I'm painting, I'm doing like several layers. I don't need a solid first coat because I'm working in layers. So I'm just slowly flowing the bad coat away. Let's kick that up one more time. A little heavier. Red, do the same thing. Focus on the shadows. I would never tell your boss. A little more red in there in those eyes. Inside the mouth, around the lip. It doesn't have to be where I want it in the first pass.
How did you guys end up selecting the supports that you did for Fistful of Credits?
Trying to remember. I really trying to remember. It was like, what would be cool? And a Devaronian, cool. It's like, what goes with the Devaronian, right? And that's what I was saying. The Chandra fans, like, it's just a nice contrast and tells like a really cool story for the box, right? It's that muscle and the, I wouldn't say meek, but the muscle and the energetic, I'm ready to go in, two guns a-blazing, having way more fun on the job than I should be having, and yet always gets the job done Devaronian, versus the squirrely, I'm stealing the knapsack full of credits. Even though maybe the job didn't get done, I'm still taking the creds. Chandra fan. There's just a nice contrast, like a nice match pairing to one another, I think. And adds a lot to the character of the unit. You know, just one of those spur of the moment like ideas, right? It's just like a Devaronian. Oh, and what about something tiny? Because, you know, contrast, big and tiny, hot and cold, crunchy and gooey. That's now their names. Crunchy and gooey. Has Shatterpoint Cad Bane been painted on stream yet? I think, yeah, Schick did it last week.
Mm-hmm.
Have I had time with them on the table? Well, that depends on what we're talking about. I mean, I haven't painted it, so it hasn't been played. But I did play them in playtest. So does that count? I guess that's my question. I don't play with unpainted miniatures though. Outside of playtest. Playtest is totally different. Okay, I like this red with that little bit of orange peeking through.
Jimmy, as for another stream tomorrow after the morning MCP announcements, we won't be able to do that because everyone's heading to Gen Con. So that will be the last stream before Gen Con starts.
Too much travel. All the travel. Did he do well for me? I love Cad Bane and the Devaronian and Oracine and the Chandrafan. I don't know if I'm the right person to ask, did they do well for me? They were fun and I enjoyed it. Because I think they're awesome. Now I've added some dark wine sanguine color to my brick red. I want to shadow even deeper. Deeper shadow. I'm just letting that just touch into those deep lines around the nose. Smile lines. Let's get a little bit more of that. Yeah, the cape is one part. The cape and the shoulder pads are one part together. And then from there it's pretty standard fair measure, you know, head, arm, leg, torso. All pretty self-explanatory on the how and the why of that. A little deeper red up in those armpits. As long as the horns aren't separate. I mean, if they have to be, they have to be. Didn't really have a choice with Loki. You can look at, if you look at Loki, if you look at the Loki sculpt built, you can understand why the horns are separate. But this feller, the way his face is, and the way those horns are shaped, allowed for the horns to be part of the sculpt. It will be the good and the ugly. It's one of my child's favorite movie trilogies. A shadow under the jaw. Behind the ears. I'm being very delicate today. Got a little neck wrinkle. It happens. It's just age.
The red is so vibrant.
It's popping. It's that orange underneath.
Yeah. Today I learned.
Throwing that orange underneath, that subdermal refraction, kicking it up. We didn't even use inks. Usually I'm like, throw some ink on it. Today I'm like, nah, we're just doing paint. We're gonna go another shadow down. I'm gonna put a little blue in our mix.
When deciding whether to get pop in this method or with inks, what do you sort of balance just as far as what each will do for the piece?
Inks tend to be glossy and almost artificial, and so I don't want that in my flesh. So just trying to maximize my pop through contrast. So laying in that little orange, letting the red breathe, and then going down the blue is going to give us that nice red pop. If I put ink in there, it gets a little unnatural. But I still want to feel like a living creature. Accentuate those creamy outlines. Tip of the brush doing its job. I've been saying I'm going to replace this brush forever, and I haven't, and it just keeps getting better, actually. This brush was trash, and then I was like, you know what, I'm working for you. I'm like, all right, I'll keep you around a little longer. Maybe I just beat it into submission, I don't know. It's like, you will work. You're going to act like a paintbrush. Or to the glue cup you go. Yeah, look at him. A little line there. We don't need a lot of this. Just here and there. Trying to be strategic. Totally missed a finger right there. Oh man. Back to the drawing board. Send me home. Done messed it up. I think every paint has its place. And it all depends on what you're trying to execute. You know, I use all sorts of different paints myself. But I have my preferred way of painting that's not for everybody. So that's the fun of painting, right? It's like you have to establish your goals and your desires and then find what works for you. You know, I've taken classes with some of the most renowned and award-winning miniature painters, and you know, it's great to learn their style, it's great to learn their philosophy, but the way they paint or the way they apply paint might not work for me. But seeing why they do it, you know, is important to my overall goals, my personal goals. And so learning how to like recognize that and figure out all that is super important. So I like having lots of tools in the toolbox. I don't ever want to say you can't paint something this way, you know. There's painters out there that could paint with ketchup and be just fine. There's techniques I use that might not, you know, you might be like, I can't figure it out or I don't like it. And that's okay. Not liking something, here's a fun fact. Not liking something doesn't make it bad. You can not like something that is perfectly good. Just not for you. That's okay. Not like that doesn't mean I can't use the technique to full effect and maximize the way I do things. This is vice versa. I might be like, here's the technique. You might be like, I don't like it. But yet you still get a good result. I'm just reclaiming some of the face. It's art, subjective. We're all just kind of doing art together. Can't we ask you to paint with ketchup? No, I said some people. I didn't say Dallas people. In the past, you've spoken about MCP adventures posed in pairs to tell a story. Any Shatterpoint ones to talk about? That I can talk about.
That's always key.
Yeah. Let me think. I gotta think about that. What story comes to my head? For Shatterpoint. I mean, see now I'm pretty sure we showed that off, but did we? So now I don't want to say what it is. Yeah, I mean Obi-Wan Darth Vader, that's a good example. Those were, I mean that's sort of, you know, the philosophy of the Rivals packs are to kind of expand upon like the Shatterpoint world, right? And tell those interesting stories. Pure orange. Tell those interesting stories that we know in the construct of the game, right? They're there to like allow some artistic freedom in the game and, you know, be part of the game still. It's still part of the game. So you kind of design those around each other to work in composition and the way the poses, the way they're interacting, like are they looking at each other? Those are very important things. Like even just talking about miniature and design, right? We had something the other day, a pose was being worked on, and I was like, yeah, but the miniature isn't participating in the story. Like it's a cool pose, but it's not participating in the story with the rest of the miniatures. And you know, that's a very loose philosophy, right? You know, somebody might be more stoically posing and somebody might be slinging lead like this Devaronian, but they still need to be interacting. So it's a lot of discussion, stuff like that. Had a really hard time painting. Oh, that question always makes me feel bad because I'm like, because if I say no, am I sounding cocky? If I say yes, are you going to be like, why are you even teaching me then? I think every mentor likes to present. It's like a game, right? When you play a game, what in a game asks you questions? Well, I should have grabbed a water. Woof. What in a game asks you questions? Your opponent, right? The terrain should ask you questions. The scenario asks you questions. These are all things of the game that ask you questions on how to pull off the victory, right? How are you able to adapt to new situations? How good of a general are you to go, this plan that I thought of while I was, at home on the couch going through my cards. But, no battle plan survives contact with the enemy, right? So all these things ask you questions. And for me, every miniature asks me new questions as well. And that's what painting miniatures is so refreshing and exciting. It's asking me questions, and I get to try to figure out how to answer them, right? How do I paint red if I've never painted red? How do I approach General Grievous and all of his arms, poking out in every direction? It asks you questions and lets you figure out how you're going to answer them. Added some yellow to our orange. For some final highlights. Look at that face!
He's gorgeous.
Such a rapscallion. Let me tell you, Hondo Inaka is super popular around the studio. That was a studio favorite. Oh, we gotta highlight his little head ridge. He's got like a little head ridge. Ah! Thanks. I owe you. Sorry, Dad, you gotta hear me drink. Woof! I was so thirsty. My gosh.
Water is the quenchiest.
Need such a drink. Okay, where were we at? Asking questions, head ridge, I don't know. The water turned my brain off. Okay. Let's paint the horns black. Do I have black? I do. Is it shaking up? Kind of shaking up. A little medium squirting out. Add a little gray to that. Got a little warm gray right here. It's always that moment where I've definitely had the time where I'm like painting something and you kind of make a mess when you're painting, and it's a little hard to tell what's happening. Sometimes I go through and I black out all the other elements around when I'm painting, and it just brings what you're working on into focus. gets rid of all that oversplash and stuff like that. I think that question falls way outside of the we can't talk about things before they're ready, or way inside. Black wash. I made up some black wash and brown ink before I came in. This guy's got a sick tight t-shirt.
He doesn't skip the gym.
Yeah, he's got crime to do. He's got to stay athletic. So that's what it's like when you're running from the fuzz. Like I said, it's the same black wash, but I did a light blue on the shirt, mid blue on the pants. This will make them separate, but yet the same color. The underside doesn't matter as much, so I didn't put any color back there.
But what color shall the cape be?
Leather.
Oh, well, there you go.
And then we'll do the boots black as well, but I've done no color. So they become a more neutral black. This guy took the bad guys wear black, like, to heart. I'm here to do crimes. I guess really he's a bounty hunter, so, you know. I mean, he's going after people that did crimes, but he's kind of criminally doing it. So mix up some brown. What color do I want in there? Little touch that blue, a little touch of green, a little touch that brick red. Crime and crime accessories. Bounty hunter box with Dengar, Bosk, and IG. Don't make me sing the praises of Dengar. I think everybody likes IG-88, definitely. The pure power that is Dengar. Like, Dengar looks like a dude who will straight pick you up and choke slam you without questions. The Boxer played that character, if I remember correctly. Like, So the goal here will be a base layer, and once again, I don't care if it's a little mushy. That will add to the texturality of the leather. Titled No Disintegrations. What about As You Wish? Except for you say, As You Wish. That's all I can think about when Boba Fett says that to Vader.
No Disintegrations is the name I always use for trivia teams.
Oh.
Do you have any go-to trivia team names?
Nope. I don't do trivia. Requires leaving the house. It's a lot of work. There was a touch of blue in there. A little brown for the straps on the leather. That paint got thin. I don't think that's a buckle. I think that's just a... I don't have a reference up. It's all right. Horrible singing. Rude. Give me the karaoke. I know where a karaoke bar is at in Indianapolis. Gone there.
Yeah, watch out. Dallas will challenge you.
I will.
Them's fighting words.
I know where a karaoke bar is at in Indianapolis, and I've been there. Mike's at high noon. That's what I'm about. This karaoke bar ain't big enough for both of us, Slim. Mike's at high noon. I used to go to a karaoke bar and we did karaoke roulette on Tuesday nights. You want to talk about learning a bunch of songs real quick? Play karaoke roulette. Under the cape. Oh, I think brown leather gloves. Yeah, why not? Yeah, just a song randomizer. You just get up on stage and whatever, and then they hit random, and whatever song plays, you have to sing. I went to a karaoke place every Tuesday, and there wasn't very many people on Tuesdays, so that's what we did.
Definitely hard mode.
It is very hard mode. You also discover you know more songs than you think you know. And sometimes you discover a new favorite. You never know. So the pants won't stay like that. That's just the starting point. We only have an hour. We were just talking that speaking of an hour, I'm starting to come up with ideas for mini strap streams. Woo! So get ready for that. Blue and black mixed together. Sun's out, guns out. Yeah, that's good. This Devaronian is just like so excited to be hired for whatever he got hired to do, right?
He's just happy to be there. For sure.
At the end of every episode, this Devaronian says, "I love this job." Hopefully everybody laughs just like Ann did at the end of the episode when he says it. So it's like, and then they do the whap whap.
And then they say, he said the thing.
He did it. He said the thing. Time to end the episode.
Freeze frame.
Check out next week when the Devaronian says, "I love this job."
And his big emotional moment will come, and then he'll say, "I hate this job."
Yeah,
and everyone
finally.
will cry.
Finally. That's when the Chandra fan gets blasted. He's like, "I hate this job." And he slow motion like comes up from a crouching position, swirling around, guns out. Ecstasy of gold plays.
It is always, to me at least, heartening to see how much progress you can make in an hour. Because I feel like what stops me from painting sometimes is just like, oh man, I got to get out all this stuff, and then what am I going to be able to do? What am I going to be able to accomplish in, an hour or two? And, watching these streams every week really does show you how much you can get done and feel satisfied by.
A little practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just got to do it. I always say an hour a night will change your life. An hour a night will change your life. You got to get in there and, setting up your paint area is a huge bonus. For anyone that has dedicated paint space, we'll tell you, huge bonus. I have a dedicated paint space. I've worked my entire life to get to the point where I could have a dedicated workspace where I live. It's just all I ever wanted. But an hour a night will change your life. You don't have to accomplish a lot. Just an hour a night, and next thing you know, it'll be done. Because 365 nights later, you know. I'm not going to try to paint that collar. Not on stream. Let's have a little fun with the highlights here. This will get glazed over again.
So we have a comment in chat that says the sculpts for this game have made them gravitate towards playing baddies. And I'm curious, with only what's out so far, what are you gravitating towards playing when you're playing?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I only have bad guys painted.
Well, and there's the answer to that question. Yeah, I've only got goodies painted and B1s because I wanted to do them.
I only have bad guys painted. And you know, well, don't get me started on this, like, and Mace Windu, but I could make an argument. I could make an argument.
I do what I want, Mace Windu?
I do what I want, Mace Windu. I don't need a trial, Mace Windu.
Do it, you won't, Mace Windu.
Ooh.
Josh is going to fly in here.
That would be amazing. By God, it's Josh off the top rope with a steel chair. That would literally make my day. Actually. Do I hate painting white clone armor? That's not true. I super enjoy painting white armor. We've done it many times here on the stream. I've gone over the philosophy many times. I'm sure we'll do it many times more. As a matter of fact, I know we'll do it again. As a matter of fact, I absolutely know we'll do it again. Hint, hint, wink, wink. And I have clones for Legion. I love painting white armor. Oh, by the way,
I was gonna say you've done a lot of it.
A lot of it. I think painting white is super interesting. Look at this. Look at this little Chandra fan. He's stealing the booty.
Little guy.
And Toto 360. Looking fly. He's a little fiddly. That's a tiny robot.
He's really leaning in, that little guy.
He's doing a little, yeah. He's dodging a bullet. So I got pretty far. I want one more highlight on this skin. A little bit more. This is like really, really warm yellow. Yeah. It's a 3-man support. You get to choose when to play which one. No, the Toto is just base decoration. Well, man, I wish I would have grabbed some dark umber. But I didn't. Such is life. I know I put blue in the pants, but now I want to lean a different direction. It's okay. I paint thin and loose. Yeah, you could put Toto on Cad's base, Aura's base. I kind of like him on the Devaronian and Chandrafan's base, personally. So that's where mine will go, but it's all personal preference. Yeah, just warming up those shadows a little bit. Maybe I don't like the black pants, actually.
What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
I don't know. I think I might turn it. I think I might turn them brown. I don't know. Haven't decided.
Mm-hmm. There's always purple, you know.
It's true.
Wouldn't
There's
want
always
to challenge
purple.
you.
There's always purple. Yeah, it's clashing a little bit. Or maybe do them as jeans. Like a gray jean material. There's so many directions. I don't know. Sometimes it'd be like that, where you're just kind of like...
Magenta, though?
Oh, magenta pants? Oh, no.
Listen. He's ready for anything. Look how happy he is.
Oh, look, he is very happy. Sometimes you start a project and you're just like, you know what? That's not what I thought. And that's okay. You just pivot. Sometimes you pivot. Sometimes you don't always have all the answers. And if you think you have all the answers, yeesh. Bold. I think that's pretty solid for an hour. Man, I don't know. I like the black shirt. Pushes the red forward. I really think space denim was where it's at. Because they didn't get the red and blue coming together. Brown is nice and neutral. Yeah, I think it might be denim. I think denim might be the way to go. There's denim-esque materials. There's definitely, like, I wouldn't call it denim. The metals will definitely have some blue tinge. I always tinge my metals with a little blue first. So like I do like a silver and then tinge it down with blue. We'll see what happens. I don't have to finish today. I don't have to finish this week. I don't think I can finish this week. So we'll see what happens. So as I'm painting on him, I'm sure he'll pop up. I'm sure he'll pop up in the group as I finish eventually. We'll see what happens. What else do we got, Ann?
Things to cover, or?
Do we have any questions about painting? The goal was painting red skin, and I knocked it right out and was done.
I feel like you did it.
I was just like, and we're done, and now I'm goofing off on pants that I didn't have a plan for.
Well, we are at the end of our hour, so.
Oh, look at that. We're at the end of the hour. I don't have to paint anymore at all. I have to go to meetings. I have to go to meetings.
Was fun.
Yeah, the orange undertone helped a lot. And also, because I paint thin, I get to see it, and I built into shadows, leaving a little bit at orange. It kind of defines the face and lets me know where to place the next shadow, next highlight. So you're just kind of sculpting as you go along. So it's super nice. I think this orange pops is going to look really good on the tabletop. I just need to choose what colors pants on. Oh well, we'll give it a go. We gave it a go. I tried my best. Shall we wrap it up?
We should.
Paint a Devaronian, they said. It would be fun, they said. But don't forget the pants. That's just today's lessons. Don't forget the pants. Remember to check us out every Tuesday and Wednesday, except for tomorrow, Wednesday. We're all traveling, so there's no stream. But every Tuesday and Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on Twitch, right where you're already at. Tell your grandma to say it every week. She might like painting Devaronians. I don't know.
And we will be on tomorrow just at 9 a.m.
Yeah, but
not painting.
Not the Atomic Mass Transmissions live, but it's like
You're right.
different thing. There's an announcement thing. Yeah.
It's like a whole
I was
other
going to
thing.
get there. I'm going
Sorry,
to get
bud.
there. I got my list. I have to go through my list. That's why I blank out and I just
I'm so sorry.
no.
Don't let me stop you.
I stopped myself already. The 1 p.m. Pacific Twitch, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time Twitch. Yes, Monday. See, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then for all the latest news, information, announcements, check us out on Twitter and our Instagram. But tomorrow we have a special announcement at 9 a.m. here on Twitch. And then I'm sure it'll go to all the socials too. And then keep your eye out for Gen Con. It's this week. I'm sure we'll be tweeting and posting and doing stuff from there as well. So until next time, go have fun, go play a game, go paint a Devaronian. Bye. See you later. We're talking about